And it does help, Christopher, to have the officials on your side. I'll leave it up to you. Do we want to start with the horrendous low block penalty or the horrendous taunting call? Which one do you want? Dealer's choice.
I don't even know where to start. There's so many. I mean, it was a bad night when Steve Levy and company had to go, hey, I mean, the first 3 quarters were so bad, and they were getting to the point in the fourth quarter, they're going, but this fourth quarter, they're making up for it. And almost on cue, they were like, wait, we're the referees. We got to take over the game again. We got to take it over here. And then not take it over when we should take it over. No, Mike. It's an issue in the league. Anybody who sat with me in the viewing room on NBC, the reffing is all over the place. It's as bad.
I hear the curse words.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm glad that there are no small children watching the games with me here in West Virginia when you're in the room. I heard you over and over again.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Do you start with the bad low block penalty, or do you start with the play right after that where Alonzo Highsmith takes 4 steps and then blindsides Justin Fields? But we don't call it because he's fast and strong and big. Like, let's see it all. Let's show all the greatest hits. We're going to forget the greatest hits because the third quarter was so horrible. Let's go to the low block. Yeah.
This one, and remember, this is a new rule this year. No low blocks outside the tackle box because the NFL is concerned after years of not caring about knees and legs. The NFL is trying to protect the health of defensive players. I didn't know the foul was attempted low block. First of all, you have to make contact.
Very suspect if that's outside the box. It's not outside the box. It's not what it was intended for. It's not outside the box. It's not outside the box. And I don't think he even hit him. He didn't.
He stepped over him.
No. I mean, exactly right. It's roughing the game too much to the letter of the law when it's like the refs right now have no common sense. I mean, that's to me what it's really come down to. It's no common sense.
Tony Correnti talked about it after the game. And obviously, usually when I say that, we throw to sound. This is a problem I have with the NFL. The players and the coaches have to go in and answer questions from reporters right after a game about their mistakes. Why do we insulate the officials from that? If we want transparency, Tony Correnti should do a press conference after the game. Not this pool report that every once in a while the NFL recognizes, we probably should make the guy available to one reporter in a closed room with no cameras or microphones. He was questioned by a pool reporter, and he was asked about the low block, and he said, the new rule this year is there should be no contact below the waist to any player outside of the tight end box. This player initiated low contact to a player outside the tight end box. This is the Al Riveron approach. And I hate to do it to Al because he's not there anymore, but I think it's one of the reasons why he's not there. All you do when you're confronted with a horrendous call, you just say what the rule is and that you saw something that violated exactly what the rule prohibits.
Right.
To hell with whether or not that actually happened. Right? Well, the rule says you can't initiate contact below the waist outside the tight end box, and the player initiated contact below the waist outside the tight end box. The only thing about it that was accurate was that it was below the waist. There was no contact, and they were in the tight end box. Other than that, great call, Tony.
I agreed. I don't know what to say. There were so many leading up to that, but first off, there's just no common sense being applied, let alone I saw a quarter earlier where Minkah Fitzpatrick came in and took Jason Peters, I believe, legs out, and Jason Peters got up and he was like, wait, we're 10 yards outside the tackle box here. They didn't call that. See, to me, it was almost like a makeup call they knew they missed that egregiously, so it was like, wait, here's another one that's close. Oh, see, I do see this. It just, to me.
But it screwed the Bears both times.
It screwed the Bears. Well, the Bears got screwed a lot of times, let alone they tried their hardest to screw themselves. I mean, was unreal. But yes, a lot of those calls seemed to go against the Bears the whole night. I mean, there was definitely some questionable ones. And then some ones where you go, Bears, are you serious? Have you played football before? So that's where it's a little confusing, the whole conversation.
Let me pause here and climb up onto my soapbox because this is a prime example of a situation where a sky judge makes a difference, because the sky judge brings into the officiating process the voices that we have at home. What we see watching the game. You have somebody who is part of the crew who sees what the millions who are watching it on TV or on their phones or wherever or however see it and can bridge the gap. So last night, a sky judge could have said to Tony, pick up the flag. They were inside the tight end box. Or pick up the flag. In addition to being inside the tight end box, there was not actually contact. That's what a good sky judge can do. Now, I feel like they're afraid to do it. They're afraid they're going to screw it up. But there are instances we can point to, and it seems like every week there are multiple games where you can say, if they'd have just had a sky judge and they worked it the right way, the sky judge could have communicated to the referee, either drop a flag or pick a flag up. It's that simple. And I know they're worried about, well, what if the sky judge sees holding away from the point of attack? Come on. That's part of what you tell them. We're looking for the stuff that becomes obvious on the broadcast. The stuff that that the person at home is going to say, that's not a penalty, or that is a penalty, or, hey, maybe they should review that 10-man dive for the first down. Whatever it is, that's what the sky judge can help with.
Yeah.
So last night with that low blow, a lot of things last night a sky judge could have helped with. And we wouldn't be talking about it today because it all would have been seamless. It wouldn't have slowed the game down. And they would have gotten it right. And it would have been a true measure of who the better team was, because it would have been the skills and abilities of the players and the coaches, not the skills and abilities and mistakes of the officials.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's very well said. I mean, again, the play we're talking about, and again, I don't know, do we have the clip of the next play where we're protecting quarterbacks, and I saw penalties called with way less egregious contact all year, and they don't call it with Justin Fields the next play. I mean, look at that. I don't know. I mean, I watched 20 roughing the passer calls this past week that were way less than that. Way less. Ball was gone 3.5 steps at least. That to me bothers me. See, that to me goes into the Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields. They're fast. They're strong. We're not going to call it on them. But if Tom Brady, I would have called it a step
later. And they're not
later.
Tom Brady.
I know.
And they're not Tom
It's
Brady.
annoying, right? I mean, Aaron Rodgers, of course, he gets that call too. It bothers me there.
Anytime the defensive player does this right after contact,
he knows it.
That's the red flag to throw the yellow flag.
There was a roughing the passer call on Mario Edwards, I think, in the third quarter, early fourth quarter, that was less egregious than that on Big Ben Roethlisberger. Mike, what I came to last night is, I think about you all the time. I go, they need to get a sky judge, and then within the sky judge, they need to get it's like the elite of the elite. It's like these are the 32 people we trust the most to really know the game and have a little common sense. Like if a pass rusher comes in and his fingernail touches the side of the quarterback's helmet, we're not going to call roughing the passer. That's not what the penalty and what the rule was intended to do. It was forcible blows to the head of the quarterback, not just being touched near the head now. There's just too much of that going on right now. It's letter of the law. It's, oh, wait, we called 3 penalties in a row. Now here's an egregious one. Let me not call it. I don't know. It was all over the place last night, let alone we haven't even gotten to maybe one of the worst ones we've seen all year. Right.
Let me say this, because somebody told me yesterday, somebody very experienced, very wise in the workings of the NFL said, and this is over and above sky judge. This is just the replay function, because the replay function is still a mess, frankly. That didn't get exposed much last night because for example, they didn't have to review the 10-man diving for the first down.
Right.
But somebody said, yeah, and it's because it ultimately comes down to this. It comes down to dollars and cents. And when you're paying $64 million a year for your public pin cushion, you can afford to, let's say, hire Mike Pereira, Dean Blandino, and Gene Steratore, put them in their own setup in Indiana or Kansas somewhere, not at 345 Park Avenue. There's still suspicion around the league that when it happens in the league office, you never know who else is in there telling the people in charge of replay what to do.
Right.
That suspicion is there.
Right.
So completely disconnect them from the league office. They're in their own place. You get the best of the best. All due respect to anybody else out there. Blandino, Pereira, Steratore.
Yeah.
They're the 3.
Even our guy last night.
Who together decide, hey, if you want, that's what I'm saying. John Perry, Terry McCauley, no offense, but the 3 names that pop up to the top,
those guys are good
Pereira,
too, though.
Blandino,
right?
Steratore.
I got you.
Or the other ones. McCauley, do 5.
Get all 5, right?
Or rotate.
More the merrier.
The reason those guys are in TV, one of the reasons those guys are in TV is the NFL doesn't pay the officials enough. So wait a minute. Let me see if I understand this. I'm going to get paid a lot more money, and I'm going to be on TV, and I don't get micromanaged every week by the league office for every mistake that I make or don't make, or we get our grades, and it's all very stressful, and I can avoid all of that. Okay, sign me up.
Yeah.
So the NFL needs to. Dean Blandino used this phrase with me a few years back after he left the league. They don't value the position of VP of officiating the way they should. That is the most tactful way possible of saying they are cheap.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, it goes. I mean, honestly, and I'm not trying to even bring this up. I've been trying to say this since Deflategate. Let's have a guy there. It doesn't cost much to check the pressure of the football every week. It's not really that much. It's not a big deal. Yeah, but last night, I mean, I think to your point, where you just want to see. Listen, we want the penalties called. You want the egregious called. That's yes, we know that. But at the same time, you don't want to see them overtake the game. And there was moments last night where you felt like they overtook the football game and, of course, cost the Bears points. The Bears lost by 2. Tony Corrente cost them 4 points. I mean, period. End of day. I don't know. That's all you can really say. And that's upsetting as a fan. I can't even imagine if I was really gambling money or anything like that.
They're still covered. You're not that upset.
No, I am. I really not. I'm. It's not even about that. It's not. It really isn't. It's a bigger, broader topic.
Let's be fair. It's not as simple as saying give the Bears 4 more points.
No,
what you have to do is go back to that point and replay the game from that point out and see how it goes. But regardless, it was a major moment in the game. It was a major mistake, and. Hey, Tony Corrente will get the check mark or the whatever they do to downgrade an official. He'll be held accountable for it internally. They never get held accountable for it externally, other than being relentlessly criticized on platforms like this. But there should be press conferences where they have to answer for themselves because the answers are unsatisfying.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.